Golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917. To you.
Good morning. How you doing this last Tuesday of June?
I'm a little fired up.
You
were sitting in the room earlier.
Yeah.
I'm a little fired up, so I'm glad you're here to try to bring
it back down to earth.
Bring it back down a little bit.
Yeah, bring it back down to the earth.
I have a question I have to ask you right away.
Alrighty.
Because I was instructed to do so.
Okay.
And I'm a good soldier. I follow my orders.
Yeah.
You know, cucumbers. Yeah. You can see a cucumber. And then 3 days later, you can see that there's definite growth.
Right.
You can see it from the start.
Right.
3-4 days, you can see growth.
That the flower's finished and
right, and the cucumber's starting to form, and then it's a little cucumber. 3-4 days, it's a bigger cucumber.
Right, and a
week or
to
so,
10 days, you're almost something to pick. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We got a bell pepper.
Okay.
It's a blonde bell pepper.
Okay.
And it's about the size of a small tangerine.
Okay.
It's been the size of a small tangerine for about a week.
Okay.
Is a bell pepper like a cucumber something you should see definite growth on, or is it a slower developing?
I think it's
vegetable?
a little slower developing. Is it? I mean,
we don't know whether it was miniature, whether it was supposed to be smaller.
Okay, because some of them
we just grabbed blonde. We grabbed blonde.
Blonde? I never heard of a blonde pepper.
They call it blonde. That's what the name was.
Is it very
the yellow?
Light?
It's the light yellow pepper.
Okay, it might be what they call a snacking pepper. It might be one of the smaller ones.
Right.
So I mean, you can give it a few days and see if it starts to change color. If it starts to, and even then, sometimes you'll have one that'll decide it's going to change color early. Yeah, or before it gets any size, maybe something happened to the stem, or it's a little stressed, so they'll start to change. I don't know if those will ripen to another color, because most all your bell peppers all start out green and then they turn red or yellow.
Yeah, this one started out. It's on the whole thing as a light yellow color.
Light yellow color. Okay.
Never saw green.
Okay. So.
And mind you, now this is a bell pepper plant that sat dormant for 2 months, 2.5. We put it in the ground, set down the cucumbers went in the ground.
Right. And
it's only got one bell pepper on it.
Just one now too. And it's just got
stuck
right in the dirt. I was
going
to say, it got stuck just in the dirt like the cucumbers?
It went into a potting plant with
potting
mix.
Soil okay.
Yeah. And it's got a lot of flowers on it.
Okay.
But it's got just one little bell pepper.
Just one little bell pepper. Did you guys get fertilizer the other week?
We did.
Did you put a little on the pepper?
We did.
Okay. That should help it. That would, encourage it, because it may have used up what came in the potting mix.
Right.
Just give it a little time. If you're not seeing it get any bigger, go ahead and eat that one. And see whether or not it doesn't actually sometimes encourage the rest of them to actually start to.
Yeah, because it's about the size of a little sweetie, or
Okay, the little lunchbox. Yeah. And that might be what it is. Yeah. It might be. Might be one of those little snackers.
We just might have bought one that we didn't realize was small bell peppers and
right, and because I have 2 different snacking peppers. I think one they actually called it a snacking bell, and it is like a little tiny bell pepper. And then my other one is actually called a lunchbox, and it's a pale green pepper as well, and they start out pale green. They didn't start out darker. It just started out.
This is pale yellow.
Pale yellow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's called blonde.
Called
blonde pepper.
Blonde pepper. I may have to look that one up and see what.
622-9622 is the number to call if you want to ask Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin any questions about your garden, your flower beds, your bushes, your trees, your grass, anything that grows with dirt. Carol Ann can help you If you just give her a call.
Yeah, give us a call.
352-622-9622.
This isn't a real busy time of year in the gardens just because it's hot. It's
wet.
rainy. It's high humidity. The biggest thing we're doing now is pulling weeds.
And pulling weeds.
And pulling weeds.
And pulling weeds.
This was always referred to by my mother-in-law as the jungle season.
And
It's because things you just can't keep up on top of it because it's just growing that quickly.
We had a weed that, it's one of those weeds that somehow it starts and it looks like a bush at your mailbox, and all of a sudden it's 5 foot tall.
Right, and kind of go, oh yeah, he needs to. Somebody needs to do something with
Susan pulls into the driveway last night, and I meet her at the driveway because on Mondays and Wednesdays she works later.
Okay.
And so I'm home, so I put the meal together and everything like that.
Sure.
So I meet her. She's getting out to ask her if there's anything I can help her get out of her car and everything. She says no, and she walks by me with a purpose.
Uh-oh.
She walks straight into the garage, gets the loppers off the wall, and she goes to the mailbox. She goes, I'm getting rid of this.
Whack.
Yeah. And now the mailman's probably very happy.
Very happy. He can see there's not bees coming into not bees coming in and everything.
I mean, she walked in with a purpose.
With a purpose, yeah.
I was at the mailbox getting the mail when she pulled in.
Right.
And she probably looked over and saw me and saw this monstrosity.
It's right.
And we got a planter box, the mailbox that surrounds the mailbox.
And this is just
so she
a monster.
She walked with a purpose, got the loppers, and that thing had to go.
Right, gotcha. Okay, here I looked up, and I figure it's a Bonnie. Is your blonde bell pepper, and it's a 4-lobed blocky ivory fruit ripens to scarlet red.
Okay, so if it's going to ripen to scarlet
it
red,
would go, yeah. But they say now this one may just because it's like the first one. They're usually 3 to 4 inches long. So
this
that's little teeny one. You might want to just go ahead and pick that one. Matures between 65 days. It'll be white. It'll be the pale.
Right.
And then 80+ days they turn red.
Oh, so we got plenty of time then.
Right.
Because we put the cucumbers in the ground probably late April, early May.
Okay. So that guy's still kind of little, but I mean, and it might even be just that first one's going to be a little puny. Sometimes
and
they are.
Remember, we were going through a drought there, so
yes,
the
for a little bit.
the plant may not function as good as it could have.
Let's see these pretty, and they say prolific peppers taste and look. Oh wait a minute, you'll love how these. Okay, lush leaves protect the fruit from sun scald.
Yeah, there's a lot of leaves on this thing.
Right.
Bush.
So deep green foliage, making edible, highly ornamental as well. Mild, medium to large. So it should become a nicer, larger pepper. Yep.
And this will just maybe the runt. And
it could be, just the beginning one. Pull that one. Go ahead and just eat it. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just little. Or just let it be and see whether or not it doesn't because you just did put a little fertilizer on it. We are consistently hot and humid right now,
which is good for the bell pepper.
Yeah, getting rain. If it's getting good sunshine, good light. I can't say sunshine. We haven't had a whole lot of it. It says partly cloudy sunshine state.
But it's still sunshine. The UV rays are coming through.
Are still coming through, right? Even on some of those overcast days. I know at my house I did have some sun yesterday. At work we actually had quite a bit of sun for a good portion of the day, and that's what brought our temperatures up a little bit.
I had no rain at the house yesterday whatsoever.
I don't think it rained at my house either.
I live just south of Anthony.
Okay.
And we had it was overcast, but there was a couple times where the sun was high in the sky.
Yes.
And it was hot.
It was hot when that sun was shining through. Yeah, it finally rained at where I work when I was getting ready to leave. So I had punched out, and then it began to rain. Never fails. If I got up at 3, that's when it would rain. If I get up at 6, that's when it would rain. I got up at 7 yesterday. It was raining. Yep.
And this is just and people that don't mind. I know this is just the sea breeze.
That's it. This is
the
just
East Coast and the Gulf Coast sea breezes.
Comes through. Temperatures are right. Here it is. It stops.
They
and
collide,
drops some rain. Yep.
and whichever one's strongest. We either get rain on the west side or we get rain on the east side.
Closer to the east side, yes. Now they were showing something tropical more than likely going to miss us.
That was the thing off the coast of Georgia.
No, well, that one's already
That's gone
came
already.
In, that actually already
right,
came on shore
right.
and gone. But there's one coming off
It's
the East
just
Atlantic. But
it's just off the Western Antilles now.
Yeah,
but it looks like it's going to curve up and miss us.
That it's going to curve back out to sea. There's I thought one strand of spaghetti had towards Florida, but you always got to put that one in there. You got to have that one guys goes, let's go ahead and hit Florida with this.
Can I tell you what I use as a resource that I've found in the last 5 years is almost infallible?
What's that?
Mike's weather page.
Oh, okay.
It's a Facebook page.
Right. Yeah, I've heard of it.
And if you go back and look at the last 5 storm seasons, if you look at his 48-hour predictions, he's about 90% correct.
Wow. That's pretty dang good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's not a meteorologist, but he's an amateur meteorologist.
Okay.
But he's got thousands and thousands of followers, and he's he was the only person that was saying when Irma came through in 2018, I was getting prepared, and people, my significant other at the time were like, but it says it's going into the Gulf. It's going to miss us. I go, no. Mike says it's coming up the spine of the state,
right,
and it'll hit somewhere around between Denellen and the Ocala River.
Right.
Well, the eye passed just east of Denellen. Mike's weather page had been saying that the whole time.
Right.
The weather people finally said it the last 24 hours. Mike's weather page had been saying it for 5 days.
Wow. Yeah,
so I'm preparing. People are like, you're crazy, and then lo and behold, I wasn't crazy. Well, I was prepared.
I hate to say it, Hurricane Andrew, devastating storm. I picked up Hurricane Andrew when it was just off the coast of Africa. I literally took the ruler, measured my blocks on my my hurricane chart, took the ruler on the wall. Yes, I wrote on my own walls, and boom.
You saw Homestead.
I started tracking that storm back then, and I'm going, oh dear Lord, you know, because it was a monster.
But Mike's weather page on Facebook is, I use it exclusively, and except the only other thing that's as good as Mike's weather page is
going outside.
If Jim Cantori shows up.
Oh, right.
But then you're screwed. If you're still there when he shows up,
you're in trouble.
You just got to ride the storm out anyway.
That's it.
If Cantori shows up, you're not going anywhere.
Hunker down, and But
Mike's weather page.
Mike's weather
really
page,
good for storms.
I may have to look him
up
and add him in there.
I'm trying to help here.
Yeah,
just trying to help.
And of course, it's probably going to benefit a lot of people. And like I said, it's the end of June. Which is, usually we're quiet in the hurricane season this time of year. I know this doesn't have a whole lot to do with gardening, except watching what we have in our landscape, looking for the tree limbs, looking for the stuff. We're getting enough rain. I have a great big limb I have to cut up. I'm off stuff after 7:00 this evening. I'm on vacation.
Not that she's counting the hours.
Not that I'm counting hours. No. That'll be the longest 8-hour day.
Oh, it's the worst.
It will be. I got a limb that came down in one of the rains, that I have to get cut up and cleaned up, some other stuff, and just going around and clean up the yard. That's my plan for my vacation. I was going to do this, that, and the other thing, but I said, you know what, I really want to do this, and because it's falling over 4th of July and that kind of stuff, it's like, I'm just going to hang out at home.
I'm driving down County Road 35 yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And that's, if you know where that is, that's in Silver Springs, and it goes out by B&O Park and everything.
It goes all the way through.
On the side of the road, just missed landing in the road because it wasn't tall enough because the tree line is far enough back.
Okay.
Water oak from the roots down. And not because there was wind or anything.
No, because
water
it got
oak
wet.
got saturated. Yeah. The roots are really on top of the ground. The ground couldn't hold it anymore. It fell over. That happens during the rainy season now.
Just normally.
It really would happen during a hurricane or a tropical storm.
Right. And that's something. And not just that too, is going around, and we've said a few times, look for the saucers that you've got underneath your plants, that maybe those ones that when we were having drought needed to have that saucer underneath there to keep them from drying out too much. Maybe make sure you're emptying those. Make sure you've got a plan to move those things should we get something coming through.
Furniture on your back porch, stuff like that. Good morning, you're on with Carol Ann Baldwin.
Morning, guys.
Morning. How you doing this morning?
My neighbor's pretty good. My neighbor's century plant broke off about 2/3 up on the towards the top, and And it's a shame because it had all these blossoms ready, or these what's called ready to blossom.
Yep.
And I don't think it's going to be. It's disconnected from the rest of the tree. You know, so it's a shame. It would have been very pretty. You know, if they would have done that.
Yes, it would have, because so it had the arms where I call them arms starting to open out where the flowers would have come from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, last week I was driving over to a friend's house through a subdivision, and son of a gun, if I didn't see another century plant look identical to the one I'm talking about, and broke off in the same spot about 2/3 of the way up.
And
It's the same identical situation.
could have been something having to do with the weather that we had within that time period, that those just snapped off, and it happens. Sometimes they'll just lean over and fall. Sometimes they break. They just can't handle the weight.
Yeah. I went in the part that was laying on the ground. I tried to pick it up. Let me tell you, they're heavy, very, very heavy,
Yes.
and solid. You know, I don't know what the weight, how much the weight is, but it's unbelievable. I was going to kind of pull it a little further away from the road, and I couldn't move it. It was that
lift
heavy.
it, yeah, and probably I was going to say probably about as big around as as your calf or something like that is usually. The thickness of them. They are pretty heavy, and it's a lot of moisture. It's a lot of it's not really woody, but it's a lot of water. It's a lot of moisture inside of those. Just like banana trees, you get a banana tree and it's just solid liquid inside there. Even though it's fleshy, it's herbaceous, but it's ton of water makes them weigh a ton.
Yeah, what's going to happen down to the rest of that stem in that plant? Is it going to die, or
it will.
You know,
Yeah, it will over the course of the time that generally whatever it would have taken that whole flower stalk to finish its maturity and things like that. I don't think it'll make it die off any quicker. It may, but and then that just that, like I had said, the parent plant will die off, but you'll see new ones replace it. And you might not even notice. You might not even notice the one missing. Unless you're looking at it every day. It may actually the pups underneath there may be significantly large enough that when that parent plant finally dies off, that it will have replaced them, and you may not even notice the difference.
Yeah, well, there's at least 20 feet of stem left leaning over. Should that cut down, or
I would probably just take it out, because it's not really doing anything for the plant any longer. It's not it's not going to bloom again on that.
Yeah. Okay. So in other words, the guy should take a power saw and cut it as close as he can to the plant, right?
Yeah. I would probably get it out of there, just because it's it's going to come down anyway.
Yeah, and you think there's possibly another one of those starting up again?
Another plant up underneath there, probably not a flower stalk, but another plant will replace that parent plant once it begins to decline.
Okay, it's a very large plant.
Yes. Yes, they are. But those other ones, they will grow. They do grow rather quickly. So, and once that, when the one's decaying and dying off, it's feeding the other ones. So it's it's that whole relationship of grow, bloom, die, regrowth, rebloom, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, it was a very interesting experience, something I never experienced before,
Sure.
And I just wanted to keep you updated on the century plant. So I don't think I'm going to go out and buy one, but I'll keep an eye on the one that's over.
Enjoy your neighbors. That's it. Just enjoy the neighbors one.
Okay, thank you. Have a
All
good
right,
day.
Thanks
you
for
too.
the call,
Thanks
Hugh.
for calling.
Those century plants, I went and tried to find some, and I found one near where I went. You're right. They're great looking plants, but they look like they're dangerous, that they could fall at any moment.
Yeah, they do. That flower spike is quite high, and they do have a tendency, especially if we get windy weather, to begin to lean, and they're 30 feet in the air. And so if you're putting one in the yard, I wouldn't put it real close to the house or your power lines, because again, they're heavy. They're not just going to snap off when it hits something. It would take down whatever.
It's almost like the way I like it, the way Hugh said it snapped off, it 2/3 of the way up.
Right.
And the one I saw looked like it was starting to lean.
Right.
It's almost like, when a tape measure, where the breaking
Right,
point of a tape
just
measure is. The break
like,
point of a tape measure.
Yeah.
And you get about 6 foot, it's good. 6'2",
It folds over at 4 feet.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what that
It looks
center tree
like.
looks like.
Right.
It looks like it's a tape measure that's about extended as far as it can go.
And then it's going to
fixing
hit
to break.
Yeah, it's going to 2 more inches
Right.
and it's going to
Right.
break. Yeah.
And like you said, they're not small.
No, and they're heavy. If anybody's ever,
I was expecting like a little corn stalk or something. It was not.
yeah, no, that would probably stand up.
Right. It was a big round, but
Yeah, but like probably bigger around than my arm, probably at least as big
Probably
around
the
as
size
my
of my
leg.
calf, probably.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I was gonna say.
but
good.
up top it's not near as big as
No,
it is down
it
bottom.
does taper. It
Right.
does taper up at the top, but then then the arms come out
Right.
on it. I mean, if anybody's ever seen just an aloe plant bloom, it's the same thing, just
30
gigantic.
feet in the air.
Yeah, just gigantic.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's an aloe blooming plant. It looks like an aloe plant.
right, they're
But
succulent.
it
plants.
does that at 30 feet in the air.
Right, because based upon the size of the plant, it's just multiply.
Don't
Do
you
the
love
math.
aloe plant? I tell you what,
Aloe
the greatest thing
plants
about
are the
aloe,
greatest thing in the world.
I got sunburned real bad one time at Disney, and there's aloe plants there.
Right.
And I went to break one. My wife at the time goes, "Don't do that. Disney will get you in trouble." And as I'm doing it, I'm breaking it, and the guy goes, a lifeguard from the pool happened to walk by. And he goes, "No, they're there for that reason." Disney actually puts live aloe out because they know people are going to get sunburned.
And here, we'll try to ease this a little bit right now.
And
yeah.
fresh aloe,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
that's lots better than the aloe in a jar or the aloe in a bottle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you could take, and actually, I had friends down in the Melbourne area, and they had a lot of aloes in their yard. We had all been to the beach one day. Everybody was fair-skinned because with a lot of little kids, but they were fair-skinned kids. We come home, and he goes out and he cuts 6, 8, 9 big wide pieces of aloe, trims the spines
right.
off them, splits them down the middle, and it's like you just set all the kids in a line, and everybody's rubbing each other's backs and shoulders down with the aloe because you couldn't keep quite enough sunscreen
It's
on them.
amazing how something like an aloe plant that you can grow in your yard, the medicinal
value
uses.
of it. Exactly. I think every household should have one. I mean, even up north, plant it in a pot and keep it in the house during the winter months. Put it outside when it's warm out. And,
Yeah, because they just showed you in Oregon, it gets hot in the north and the northwest during the Olympic trials just recently. 106 degrees.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're lucky with 88 and 74% humidity.
Well, the other on Saturday.
We're used to it.
On Saturday, we were looking to go. We were maybe looking to go to Walt Disney. I mean,
okay.
SeaWorld.
SeaWorld, okay.
And we pulled the weather up, and Orlando said it was partly sunny, 96 degrees, with 98% humidity.
Well, that's when you go to the Arctic section a few times.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But people don't realize, we do because we live in Florida.
Right.
You can have 99% humidity. Well, somebody says, well, 100% humidity, it's supposed to be
gonna
raining.
No,
I've seen it at 99% and 100% where there wasn't a cloud in the sky.
Yeah, it's just that the amount of moisture in the air is what that is.
Because we
And then,
live
of
in a
course,
subtropic
then,
area.
of course, you get in some place like SeaWorld where you have a lot of water,
Yeah.
and you have a lot of concrete, and it just sauna. Or
my favorite commercial, feels like a sauna in here.
There you go.
I want to talk to you about the sauna effect when we get back.
Okay.
Because it's an effect that takes place every afternoon almost in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Is it good for our plants or is it bad for our plants? We'll ask Carol Ann Baldwin that. Next, you're listening to Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She joins us every Tuesday from 9 to 10 o'clock. You can reach her by reaching out to us at 352-622-9622. That is the number to call if you want to ask us any question. Ask Carol Ann Baldwin, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin, any questions about your plants, your gardens, your flower boxes, your grass, your trees. Should you trim your trees with hurricane season? She's all-knowing, and if she doesn't know, the beauty of Carol Ann Baldwin, she'll say, I'll find the answer out for you and bring it back. So we'll be right back with Carol Ann Baldwin at this time out, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA.